to you live from the mountains of smoke. Firekeeper recovery bringing you hope. If you're living in darkness, look for the light, cause our fire is burning to helping you fight. It's the firekeepers, the firekeepers, 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 recovery. Bumper BG, talk recovery. Firekeepers, firekeepers. Welcome to Firekeeper Recovery. I'm Brant.
Bumper Smith.
And we're here today on this nice sunny day in the shade because it's getting a little warm out there, to bring a little recovery message like we do every week. So thank you for joining us. I don't know why I'm rambling, but
You check in?
yeah, we wanted to have a check-in. Go ahead, you start.
All right, so yeah, just like every week, my recovery check-in. It's good. It's good. I mean, there's day-to-day, ups and downs, the ebb and flow of life. That's just life. It's in learning how to deal with stuff, when it does come up, which isn't often, but my routine keeps me grounded, and, all the good people that I have in my life, even people that don't think they're still in my life, that I only see once in a great while, just seeing them out and seeing them still doing well, it makes me feel good,
Heck yeah.
So it was a great week. House chores, kids.
Routine.
Yes.
Heck yeah. Well, my week started out not that great, but ended last night pretty great. Like, it was like I went up and then I went way down. I had a lapse this week. It was my second lapse since beginning of May, where I drank and I didn't reach out for help or anything. Thursday night I was like, I'm just gonna have a drink, but then it wasn't a drink. It was a whole fifth, and that led into the next day. So it was a whole 2-day lapse thing.
Yeah.
And then just Saturday and Sunday just being sick. Just
Yeah.
like physically. Yeah.
How were you feeling leading up to the notion that, I'm just going to have one drink? Because, we can't ever just have one drink or one snort or one whatever.
Yeah. What was, for me, was a lot of it was just mental. I can't turn my brain off, so I'm just thinking all the time, it feels like. And like all the thought-stopping things that I work help for myself, like to turn my emotions off, but it's like I just didn't want to think about anything, but I couldn't. It just still, and the only way I can find to turn it off, or that I wanted to use that day, was alcohol, because I knew it would work and it was a quick fix and I had money. Nobody was there to stop me. I thought I could just sit in my room and drink at night. But then it wasn't that easy. My brother wanted to talk, so I couldn't hide. So then he knew I was drinking, so I didn't hide it. Then I woke up the next day still drunkish. So how do you combat that? I still had that other half of that fear.
Hair of the dog, they call it.
Yeah, I unleashed on my dad all this stuff. And like, it's kind of helped. Like, this is stuff I've been holding in.
Yeah.
But then like the guilt and that shame and all that stuff is like, kind of, so it's like a justification I'm having now. It's like, it worked.
Right.
I was able to turn my brain off, but I really wasn't. But then the last 2 days, I really wasn't thinking about nothing except this. But the way I'm feeling, like, I don't want to do this again. So it's like, I really did not have to think about all the other stuff that led up to it. It's all been about thinking about this relapse thing.
Yeah.
So it's like a blessing and a curse. And then last night it came, I had wrestling. It was a escape, that I hadn't had in a while. I've been missing, like, my escape that's one of my big escapes for the past 4 years has been wrestling.
Yeah.
And it hadn't been working the past 6 months. And so that's been getting me down to you. It's like grieving something that you drawn to love again because it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
It took me back to being a child.
Yeah.
How I had them times with my aunts and my uncles and my grandma. But now it's all, I found wrestling in my recovery again. And it's been growing together.
Yeah.
And then I guess when wrestling started sucking again, it was all like reflecting on my recovery, and maybe I'm letting that get into my mental. You know, something like that.
It seems like, because your mind, the mind is like, it's like, if you've ever had like an old TV that no cable or satellite's hooked up to it, and it's on, and it's just that staticky fucking sound, but it's full blast. That's like how your mind goes, because it's an incessant stream of consciousness, just wherever, here, there, and into the most random shit, and it feels like it don't want to ever shut off and want to leave it alone. Like you're powerless to make it calm down or quiet down without assistance from maybe substances or some other kind of vice. Meditation and mindfulness is. These are like ancient practices, but those things are, I guess, were developed or discovered, however you want to say it, to help do that. Because there's a tendency to identify your mind as you. Like when you think in your head, you think that that's you. You are your thoughts. That's a common tendency. That'd be like saying, it's a function of the mind. That'd be like saying, if you taste something, you are what you taste.
Yeah.
Or if you stub your toe, like you are the pain that arises from that, which really it's not. It's it's just a function of the brain, the mind is. And there are practices that can help you chill it out, settle it down. The idea in Zen Buddhism, Zazen, it means no mind. That's not being like a brainless idiot or a mindless dummy or nothing, but it's in a state of being in the moment for as long as you can be, like pure awareness. Because when it comes to the mind, you are not your thoughts. You are the witnessing presence, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You are the thing that observes what goes on. That is you. You are not like clouds in the sky. You observe them. That's like what your thoughts are, your thought patterns, all of that good stuff. It takes practice though. Like anything else, whether it's draining 3-pointers or fucking running 100-yard dash in record time, you got to work at it. It takes practice. And there can be times when you don't feel like it, times when it sucks and you just don't want to. But if you are able to make yourself do it anyway, then the days whenever you do want to do it, it's a piece of cake. It's easy, it's fun, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
There's a book. I don't recommend audiobook, although it's good. A book I read several years ago by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Man, that was a huge, huge help in how I looked at how my mind works, my own mental health, consciousness. It made a lot of sense. I had to reread it like 3 or 4 times, but it's made things a lot easier, especially with certain coping skills or grounding techniques, like thought stopping. I know that when thoughts come in, when one tries to wiggle in that's not positive, I know that I can immediately dismiss it. No, without letting it take root and take it over.
Yeah.
Because that's when you start dwelling on shit. It's when it takes root and then it just dominates your fucking headspace. The trick is to nip it in the bud when it first starts. And sometimes you got to keep swatting it down, keep swatting at it. You got to keep it on and on and on. Use healthy distractions, like sensory things. You could, like a rubber band, snap it, and that's, the rubber band stay in your arm. It'll take your focus on that, and it can, if you allow it to, it'll take your focus off all the circus going on in our minds.
Yeah. Yeah, back to basics. That's what I've been.
Yeah.
It's like I was making things too complicated for myself anyway. Yeah, that's my main focus. Yes, is I'm back to basics. I'm gonna do what I've been doing. That's what's working.
Yes.
And stop adding things that only made more stress for me. Didn't add nothing positive.
Right.
Except maybe it was something I wanted. But I don't need it right now.
Yeah.
So it's all these dumb, well, not dumb things, but want and need, being present.
Do you
all
want to
these things.
elaborate on any like of those things that you took on that only jumbled things up?
I guess like the whole like firekeeper recovery and all this type of things. Like, I like doing the videos.
Yeah.
I want to do more like in-person things with people, but then like working towards like getting a recovery center that we want to build is like, well, to get there you got to go do all these other things. You got to learn how to run a non-profit, and I'm like, phew. So now I got to go to school. Now I got to learn all this other stuff. I just want to be the person out front.
Right.
But to start from the ground up is like you got to do it all. So it's like, do I really want to take all that on?
And it's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
It's really okay if you don't. I mean, don't. The worst thing you can do is have, great aspirations, and then along the way decide, you know what? Maybe I don't. And then feel like you're somehow a fucking bad person because you changed your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, don't do that. It ain't necessary.
But then you're like, well, who's going to do it? Who else is going? I hadn't seen anybody else working towards it, really.
Right.
Because like analytics does great from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
We need 5 to 9 in the morning. That's the hard part.
That's something that's, I think, any platform, any organization, anything like that's going to run into, because I mean, one thing that our program is working on, that my boss is working on, is finding us a building space, a base of operations, where a safe place for people can come hang out at. Like you said, the recovery center all on Aniski is good. Maybe people need an alternative. Maybe they don't want to risk running into someone that they might, not be on the best of terms with there, as far as like other peers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like other people from the community, and it's be another place for a safe space.
And maybe because that person has been going there, you're like, well, that's their spot, so I can't go there.
Some people would think like that, yeah. But it's not. It's not my spot. It's not your spot. It's not their spot. It's our spot.
Yeah.
It's for all of us. And
yeah, because I don't think I've ever really used the recovery center at the hospital.
But I used to when it was
down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go and I leave.
Yeah.
That was me. I didn't want to hang out with nobody. That was always just me not wanting to make friends still, because friends die still. But I'm kind of getting over that.
Yeah.
Everybody dies. So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Anytime you grieve the loss of friends, it will, have you keep your guard up, man. Because losing somebody you fucking love and care about, that leaves a fucking deep wound in your fucking heart, man. It does. And it takes time to mend from that. Maybe you never mend all the way.
Yeah. And you gotta learn how to be a friend again after you haven't been one. So you're like, am I being the right kind of friend, or am I enabling them? Is that a good friend too?
I get what you mean. It's the other challenge is, whenever like when I was younger, whether it was smoking weed or drinking or whatever else, it was easy to be outgoing and have a big personality, because I was fucked up. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Learning how to be sociable and jovial and really friendly and cool with everybody. It's sober minded, you know. It takes a little easing into,
Yeah.
because you know, no matter who you are, you have like these maybe insecurities in the back of your mind, like you know, whether you're, you know, whatever it is, you know, you're not cool enough, or maybe you feel like you're goofy, or you know, titty sweat showing in your shirt, you know, just stupid shit. It's all fucking dumb stuff, you know, but it's built up in our minds.
Yeah.
And because, you know, there's emotions that come along with it, it's kind of like they reinforce each other.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's such this big, real fucking thing that's, you know, but it's not. It's like a phantom. It's like a...
It's more like fog.
Yeah.
It's there, but you can walk through.
Yeah, and you can see that it's, well, really, it ain't shit.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking Wizard of Oz, you know? Come to find out, well, it's just some insignificant little thing that I've allowed to be fucking blown up in my own mind.
Yeah.
You gotta check that book out, man.
I will. Eckhart Tolle.
Yep, The Power of Now.
I think I've heard of him.
It's been out for a long time.
Yeah. 'Cause I probably read kind of things about. Yeah. I went on my spiritual journey. I've like tried all kind of different things. That's kind of where I'm at now, is I piece them all together to what makes me feel good and makes sense logically kind of in the world. I'm like, that makes sense.
I think that's a good approach. It's kind of the approach I've taken, you know. Hell, I grew up going to church, and you know, when it reached the point in my life when that didn't give me all the answers, I started looking at, you know, into other stuff. You know, not necessarily just blindly accepting everything that I come across, but also not immediately dismissing it.
Yeah.
You know, because to me, I would, if I blindly accepted everything, it would be foolish to do so. But on the flip side, it would be foolish of me to like just blindly deny all of it or everything. You know?
Yeah.
You got to find your tawheed,
Yeah.
find your balance in that shit, and you can cherry pick. It's like a buffet, you know. Find what works for you.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you know, you're not hurting yourself or anyone else.
And a lot of it's commonality, just said in a different way.
Yeah.
I was like, we say don't kill people, and they're like, don't take somebody's life unjustly.
It's like rice, beans, and corn. Like, how many different cultures can make all these different dishes with the same ingredients? It's like when you have all these different, you know, beliefs and spiritualities. It's all the same ingredients. It's just the presentation's a little different, you know, than what you may be accustomed to.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, man. Just, you know, dig around, find what works, and you can move at your own pace. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, you got to walk in your shoes. You got to live your life. It's your own peace of mind and your own sanity. At the end of the day, it's you know, it's there and it's intact and it hasn't been disturbed, you know, beyond reason. Then it's been a good day.
Heck yeah. Did you have any stress or frustrations you need to talk about?
Not in a long time. If it's a lot of little shit, like happens all at once, I'll start to get aggravated. Where in the past, where I would like, you know, kind of shut down or kind of, you know, get kind of huffy and puffy, you know, or whatever. You know, it wasn't solving nothing. I was kind of just suppressing it or whatnot.
Yeah.
I've learned now, you know, to just remember, like, take a deep breath, and I lean on the comparison. I'm like, you know what? Right now, this far in my recovery, the shittiest day I could have is still a hell of a lot better than how things used to be.
Right.
Because the way things used to be, and I compare my life then to now, I remember all that pain. I remember all that shame and embarrassment, guilt and frustration and just, you know, hating myself. I remember all of that, and I remember just all the shit, you know, that came with living like that in the past. It's not it's not so much that it's gonna like if I revisit, it's gonna make me be in crisis or anything.
Yeah.
But it's a reminder. It's there. I'm just like, man, you know what? So today wasn't fucking all aces. Still, it wasn't that bad. Something about it wasn't that shit. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. We start to get all fucking huffy about nothing.
Right.
It's just being able to leave work stuff at work, home stuff at home. But anything like that, anything like what we're talking about, it takes practice. Practice. It just does, It just does.
Yeah, that's why I'm good at certain parts of my recovery. I'm like I'm great at accepting it. I did what I did. I take responsibility. I can stand on it. I can come over here, and if anybody, I did what I did.
You can share it.
Yeah, because I'm not ashamed that I used. I'm not guilty. Well, I'm guilty, but I'm not letting it keep me from helping others or keeping me from helping myself still.
Yeah, it's not. You're not going to allow it to pin you down to where you stay in the shit.
Yeah.
You're able to get up and say, well, you know what? This is another thing I can learn from. And these slaps. What has it taught you, or what has it revealed to you about what you may or may not have been doing? I don't want to say right or wrong, but what may have been unnecessary.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was not recognizing what was happening. I was wanting so much more. So I was focused on the future. I wasn't looking at the present, is the way I can see it now.
Yeah.
Because I've been working so hard to let go of like all past stuff that I think I got there, and then I was concentrating on what I wanted for the future because I never really saw that or worked for that or made goals for that. So now that's what I was concentrating on. That the present, like I didn't feel like, yeah, it was all piling up. Now that, and by the time I recognized it, it was just all,
fuck it.
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna deal with it. But now I know, take a step back, reappraise what I'm doing, start taking care of myself again. It's about that self-care.
Yeah.
I might have been taking care of myself in certain ways, but I wasn't, and my mental health wasn't, because I had probably quit working on that part of my recovery because it was more business or like that kind of stuff.
Right, other aspects.
Yeah, so now it's balance. I gotta have that and that.
Yeah. When you have, for me, when I have like real balance, like true balance, I can handle stuff that comes my way or comes into my life, and I can handle it responsibly, and I feel like in a healthy way. It's rare whenever it gets to be like a lot, but I can feel when it starts to become a lot, and then I'll talk about it with somebody, and maybe I end up unloading a fucking whole bunch, or maybe just what I needed to, or in that moment or whatever. Anytime somebody opens up to me and they just fucking unload, the levee fucking breaks, I like to think that I realize what's going on and what they're doing, and just being present, and letting them do that. People always be like, oh man, I'm sorry about, dumping all that on you and whatnot. It's kind of it's like a joy or a privilege, to be able to have been that for somebody and to help let somebody do that because they need that shit.
Yeah.
To hold stuff in, you just let it sit there, it'll fucking start to rot and leach you from the inside out. And then of course it manifests itself in your life, whether it's, bad habits or bad choices or, just your overall demeanor, you start not being yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, but it starts with little things. You can see it when they start, if you pay attention.
Yep.
Right.
daily like maintenance.
Yeah, like just it's harder to get out of bed than it was yesterday. Yeah. Why don't I want to get up today?
Yeah. you gotta have your mental checklist.
Yeah.
One thing that's been helping me a lot, man, lately, and I've been doing it for like the past couple months, is making in my mind, before I go to sleep, you can call it prayer, you can call it whatever, but it's just a gratitude list of 10, 15, 20 things, depends. And then when I wake up in the morning, I don't always do it in the morning, but in the mornings, try to do it again. And then sometimes throughout the day, just stop and whatever I'm doing in that moment, and just realizing what a fucking beautiful thing it is that I'm alive, and that I am where I am, and I don't know, it's transcendent.
Right.
It feels like, but it's I wasn't always like that, it's over time, of course, as I've evolved as a person and also my recovery.
Heck yeah. I know this has helped me out, though.
Good, man. But shit, anytime you need to fucking talk, dude.
Heck yeah. You got anything else you want to talk about, or?
Nothing in particular. Just a reminder, the recovery rally's coming up. Shout out to all the people in recovery who got new jobs, the hospital or men's home or wherever it is. You are making an impact in the recovery community. You are showing other people that may be struggling that recovery works. It is possible. People can have a better life than one in active addiction. Even without sharing your story, people see us where we were and where we are now, and it's kind of like your walking does the talking for you.
Yeah.
So kudos to all those people.
Heck yeah, just keep working, and if you have a lapse, it's all right. Just keep coming back.
Stay engaged.
Yep, and thanks for listening. Thanks for being here with us. And what do I supposed to say? Anything else? Probably. Reach us out at resliferecovery@gmail.com. Big Native BG on all social media. Bumper and Brant and Firekeeper Recovery on YouTube. Like and subscribe, and remember, we'll leave the light on for you. Eastern Bay, Cherokee, Firekeeper Recovery. We the firekeepers, the firekeepers, the firekeepers, the firekeepers. Yeah, coming to you live from the mountains of smoke. Firekeeper Recovery, bringing you hope. If you're living in darkness, look for the light, cause our fire is burning and they're helping you fight. It's the firekeepers, the firekeepers, 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 firekeepers. Recovery, Bumper BG, talk recovery.